talks of a border deal in the Senate have hit a stalemate. Senate Republicans and Democrats both say they don't like the current deal that is being crafted, delaying the passage of President Biden's $106 billion supplemental funding request for aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Anna Wernicke is in Washington with more.
Texas Democrat Veronica Escobar says for decades, immigration reform has stalled in Congress.
It's been 37 years since there's been comprehensive immigration reform.
This week, Senate Republicans were hopeful the dry spell was over.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to secure a border.
Republicans are demanding tougher border security policies in exchange for their support for President Joe Biden's $106 billion supplemental funding request. That includes aid for Ukraine and Israel.
Republicans will not allow the supplemental appropriation to proceed unless there is satisfactory policy changes that are designed to stop or stem the flow of people across the border.
But Democrats say Republicans' demands are unreasonable and are accusing Republicans of holding emergency aid for Ukraine hostage.
And Hawaii Democrat Mazie Hirono says the Republicans' proposal would make the border crisis even worse.
Pitting vulnerable groups against each other, Ukrainians fighting an unjust invasion, and asylum seekers fleeing persecution is a recipe for bad policymaking.
Democrats tried to tack on citizenship for Dreamers to the Republicans' plan, but that was shot down.
This is not an immigration negotiation.
And with both sides not willing to budge, a border deal by Christmas seems more and more unlikely. In Washington, I'm Anna Wernicke.
Senator Bill Cassidy wants to create a national safety board to keep tabs on natural disasters. Cassidy requested a hearing to once again consider a bill he's co-sponsoring. Members would gather information from past disasters to help with future ones. It's called the Disaster Learning and Life-Saving Act. Now, he promises it will lessen the impact hurricanes and other natural disasters have on communities.
Louisiana had a pretty quiet hurricane season, but we know it won't necessarily stay that way. So this safety board would take all the lessons we've learned and use them to save lives and prevent future disasters, not just in our state, but around the country.
So this isn't the first time. Cassidy brought the bill back in 2021, but it did not make it through the legislative process. Congress is at odds over tackling gun violence. This week, senators held a hearing to talk about how to prevent firearm deaths, but the political divisions were very clear. Washington correspondent Hannah Brandt has the highlights from their debate.
Spiking gun violence has some lawmakers calling it an epidemic.
Guns are now the #1 cause of death among America's children and teenagers.
In a hearing on Tuesday, Democrats like Senator Dick Durbin advocated for new policies to prevent shooting deaths, like universal background checks and a ban on assault weapons.
Tell me that the average American needs a military assault weapon to protect themselves or their family. I don't buy it.
Senator Cory Booker says they also need to invest in prevention programs because each shooting comes with a cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars in hospital bills, damage to businesses, and trauma for communities.
Yet we can't come up with the investments in evidence-based programs that are actually working to lower violence.
But Republicans argue Democrat proposals to tackle gun violence don't address the real issues and infringe on Second Amendment rights.
Their priority is not stopping the criminals. Their priority is disarming law-abiding citizens.
Senator Ted Cruz accuses leaders on the left of being too easy on criminals. And Senator John Cornyn says it's a relatively small portion of the population responsible for most gun violence.
If you empower law enforcement to selectively investigate and prosecute repeat offenders, you can dramatically reduce the gun violence.
Senator Tom Tillis says lawmakers need to focus on common ground instead of partisan solutions.
You don't get anything done on gun violence around here without bipartisan cooperation.
In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
Up next, we'll have a look at the week ahead on your local election headquarters. Stay with us.